5.7 seconds. Collins' second jumper is good as well as he swishes the net, and it's down to 7. Clendenin has it for Gate City. Osborne, lob pass over to Clendenin, looking to get it up court, and he is fouled by Begley of Twin Springs, number 10. So Clendenin will take his turn at the charity stripe, and it'll be 1-1 for him as well.
Clendenin has not yet scored tonight. He's one of the players that likes to shoot from the outside, who prefers to shoot the three-pointers. This is the first time he's been to the foul line tonight.
Coach Dwight Lane of Gate City has made moderate use of his bench. He's brought in about 8 players, Clendenin being one of the reserves he brought off his bench. Clendenin is a very good player, folks, and I don't want to give you anyone the wrong impression that the players on the bench are not good. Any of these players on the Gate City bench for this junior varsity team, as you see Hal stealing the ball and getting the jumper, any of these players on the bench for the JV could easily start anywhere. These are a very good group of young men, but this is the starting 5 that Coach Lane has gone with, and he's made good use of his bench throughout the year. 54-43, a 9-point lead for Gate City as a foul whistled on number 10 of the Gate City Blue Devils, Hal. Hal has just had a superb game tonight defensively. He is going to be perhaps the premier defensive player in the Highlands District when he gets on the varsity ranks. Just an outstanding player, and he's also contributed point-wise tonight as well.
That's right. So far tonight, he has 7 points and only 2 personal fouls.
A lane violation on someone.
I believe that was, I thought it was Will Gardner, but it went against Porter. Gardner, when that foul came up against Howell, he thought it was against him, and that would have been his 5th. He looked a little relieved when he found out it was against his teammate, Jason Howell.
Osborne bringing it up, and he can expect a mugging, asking anybody with the ball. They get it in the hands of Clendenin, and he pulls the pivot foot and is caught with a traveling violation. Twin Springs basketball on the far side. Addington brings it in. Forrest Addington for Twin Springs has had a great game tonight for the Titans. He's done it all: rebound, score, assist, as there's a long three-pointer, no good. In and out, it comes down to Gate City, as out of bounds with the basketball was Daniel Ross, number 52, trying to save it in. Gate City basketball with an 11-point lead. 13.0 seconds left, and this should do it. Osborne up to Hal. He'll dish off to Owens. His jumper from just outside the paint, no good. Clock winding down. Owens with the turnaround hook shot, no good. 5.1 left on the clock, and a foul whistled on one of the Titans. Number 52, Daniel Ross for Twin Springs with another personal. And Robbie Owens can ice this game. I think this one is pretty much in the bag for Gate City, as coach of the Twin Springs team bringing in a couple of substitutes again. Number 24, Josh Stapleton in the contest, as well as number 20 seeing action for the first time tonight, Jesse Matthews. Begley sits down as well as Ross. And now number 22, Stan Begley checks in, replacing Mike Collins. Good game for Mike Collins as well as Ricky Begley. Begley running the team tonight. Did a good job at the point guard position, and Mike Collins, the long-range gunner for the Titans, as the free throw is good by Owens. 12-point Gate City lead.
Mike Collins went out of the game with the lead as the leading scorer for the Titans with 14 points.
Second one no good for Owens. The Titans' Josh Stapleton brings it up. He'll have to hurry to get a shot off, and Addington's jumper will not count at the end. Gate City, with a strong effort in the latter stages of the fourth quarter, puts away the Twin Springs Titans in the junior varsity action. 55-43 the final score. A 12-point win for Gate City as they sweep the Titans in their home-and-home series this year. The Scott County rivals going 2-0 over their cross-county team rival, the Twin Springs Titans. So we're just about set for varsity action. As you see, the Gate City team is taking the floor. Twin Springs will be doing the same. Sean, let's run down the stats one final time.
All right, Gate City needs to work on their fouls. They had 2 players that fouled out tonight and a few others in foul trouble. St. Martin and Vermillion both fouled out while Gardner was in foul trouble. And they need to work on that. That's one of the biggest problems that they have as of right now. Jason Howell came to life. He had 7 points out there. He played some great defense. St. Martin with 13. Gardner with 4, Vermillion with 18 for the leading high in the game. Owens had 5, Osborne with 2, Clendenin with 2, and Joey Dean with 2. So most of the players that were out on the court did get the score. Ricky Begley had 5 for the Titans. Mike Collins led for the Titans with 14 points. Let's see, Forrest Addington had 11, Matt Porter with 4, Daniel Ross with 4, and Alex Vickers with 5.
So the final score from Twin Springs Titan Gymnasium for the junior varsity contest, 55-43. Leading scorer for Gate City is Scott Vermillion. Great defensive game by Jason Howell. good all-around effort. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment with the varsity action between Gate City and Twin Springs. All right, basketball fans, welcome back to the Titan Gymnasium here at Twin Springs. The Gate City Blue Devils and the Twin Springs Titans just about set to mix it up in the varsity ranks. The JV team successful earlier tonight by a score of 55-43, and now the varsity team, which narrowly defeated these same Titans by 2 points earlier in the season, and we're underway. The Titans control the opening tip, giving it to Warren LaForce. Now back to number 20, Todd Addington, being fronted by David Blackwell. Number 14, man-to-man defense by Gate City. LaForce has it as he works his way back around to this side, being guarded by Brian Baker. Back out front to Todd Addington. Addington, the point guard, also has some good long-range shooting skills. LaForce works free. Nice dish off to number 44, who misses a shot. That was Wes Salyer. Rebound down to Brent Herron, who's back in action after missing several weeks with a sprained ankle. Blackwell on the far side. Now back to Baker. A similar man-to-man defense being played by the Twin Springs Titans. Mullins takes a jumper from just inside the free throw line, in and out. Here come the Titans, no score, as we've just started here in the first period of action at Twin Springs. In the hands of LaForce, he's looking inside, back out to Addington, Todd Addington, number 40. They eventually work it to number 50, Jason Taylor. His jumper is an air ball there for the rebound. Blocked is Wes Salyer, and Addington, or check that, Jason Taylor there to put the tip up and in. So Twin Springs on the opening series takes a quick 2-0 lead. Baker fighting off the defense of number 20, Todd Addington. Bryant takes it himself, his jumper too hard off the glass, and here come the Titans behind number 20, Addington. 6:47 left to play in the open period, quarter number 1. Again, a man-to-man defense matchup.
Gate City usually takes a little bit of time getting into their game, but they're down by 2 right now, have not yet scored, and they need to get their offense started.
Chris Addington dishes into Taylor. It's stripped away from behind. LaForce comes up with a jumper over Hensley, lays on the basket, finally stripped down by Mullins, and he is fouled from behind. I believe the person will be charged to, well, they'll give it to number 50, Jason Taylor, for going over the back of Chad Mullins. First personal on Taylor. And
the Titans have a good matchup between Jason Taylor and Brad Hensley. It's really to their advantage because Brad Hensley, although he's got pretty good height for the Gate City team, he's just majorly outweighed by Jason Taylor, and Todd Williams there being called with a walk.
Williams, probably one of the tallest players on the Gate City team, also one of the bulkiest. He's in there tonight to try to match up with this Twin Springs team. Gate City has Brent Herron, usually a starter, not completely at 100% yet. He's on the bench, but you can expect to see Brent later on in the contest. Addington over in the corner to LaForce. He's also got good range from three-point land, so Gate City will have to play tight on him. Addington eventually over to Taylor in the corner, being guarded by Hensley. Hensley also a starter tonight for the Blue Devils.
The Titans are getting a lot of good picks out there.
Back out front. Eventually they work it into the hands of number 20, Addington on the give and go. He is swatted away by Blackwell. Great defense, but wide open underneath. Number 44, Wes Salyer. Beautiful pass from the outside. And Twin Springs opening up a 4-0 lead over Gate City early on in the first period. Blackwell dribbling around out to Baker. Thought about the 3, but just a tad too far out. Blackwell again with the ball at the top of the circle, looking for help. Mullins trying to fight his way 3 inside. Baker from 3. The jumper's up, and it's in and out. Rebound there by Todd Williams, no good. Chad Mullins rebound shot, no good. Blackwell from 14, no good. And at the 3 offensive rebounds, Chad Mullins commits the foul, and that brings the Titan crowd to life. A great crowd at Twin Springs tonight, almost capacity. The Twin Springs side nearly filled, the Gate City side nearly filled, and lots of fans in the bleachers behind us as we are on the upper level. 4-0 Twin Springs.
Brent Herron comes into the game for Todd Williams. Last time these two teams matched up, Chad Mullins had a little bit of an off night, but he was able to sink the last shot of the game to give Gate City the 2-point advantage and the win.
Nice defense by Hensley there, tipping away the pass. Gate City owning the rebounding so far, but Twin Springs, the recipients of some good bounces and some good passes. Off the screen, number 22's jumper is nothing but net. That is Chris Addington with a sweet jumper in the lane. Gate City now trailing 6-0. And a traveling violation whistled on David Blackwell. Gate City coming apart at the seams in the early going as the Titans are really applying the pressure to the Blue Devils.
And Gate City could be in a little bit of trouble. The Titans have the ball underneath their own goal with a 6-point lead over the Gate City Devils.
Taylor inbounds it to Todd Addington out front to LaForce. Nice quick pass into number 22, Addington, no good. And a foul whistled on one of the Titans from behind. That was Chris Addington who took the shot. And as Sean said, it's number 44, Wes Salyer, with the personal.
That's his first.
2 team fouls on Twin Springs, and I believe 1 on Gate City. The inbound comes to Brian Baker. Baker, the senior, calling out the signals. The Titans put on a full court press. Taylor bouncing Baker around. Finally, Heron has it. Hensley safeguarding the ball in his hands, and eventually they'll work it to Brian Baker. Swivels around from the 3. Will take it from 17, and it rolls good. That's Brian Baker with the first Gate City points of the game with the 4:23 mark in the first quarter. 6-2, Gate City trailing it. Baker now applying some pressure with backcourt mate Blackwell. Todd Addington will cross the half-court stripe. Instead, he passes it over to Chris Addington, number 22. Taylor and now Addington at the half-court area just in front of the circle, calling out the play. Gate City drops back into a zone, trying to whip it into Salyer. He's double-teamed. Addington back out to Taylor. He'll shoot it from 3. It is good. Jason Taylor shooting the lights out from outside with the 3-pointer as he gets away with a little mug there with Baker. Over to Mullins. He is just on the 3 line. It's in and out.
Oh.
Taylor collects the rebound. Gate City cold so far in the first quarter.
And Mullins has been having trouble with his shooting. He usually takes a little while to warm up, but everything so far, he's put up a couple 3-pointers, and they've gone in and out.
That'll be a backcourt violation charged to Twin Springs. Addington picking it up and the whistle being blown. A couple of substitutes coming in for Twin Springs as well as 1 for Gate City. Chris Lark in for Gate City. Coming in for Twin Springs, number 24, that's Brian Powers, as well as number 34, Chad Irvin. Sitting down is 22, Todd Addington, as well as 44, Wes Salyer. Gate City in some trouble early, 9-2, they trail at 3:23. Quick pass into Mullins. His jumper is in the net, good, as he pulls it up in the lane at about 16. 9-4, Gate City trailing, the press on in the backcourt.
Once Mullins starts to hit, he's usually in pretty good shape. Good play by Mullins right there. Clear court, sails and puts it in.
Excellent anticipation by the Gate City senior, number 22. Mullins cuts the Twin Springs lead to 3. 9-6 at the 3-minute mark left in the first quarter. Addington back to Taylor, looking down court. He finds number 34, Irvin, who has just checked in.
And Chad Mullins knocked that one away. Brent Heron picking it up. Gate City's got their speed team in right now with all their quickness out there on the court.
Here come the Devils trying to get right back in it. Lark looking inside. Mullins from 3. It's up and it's good. No doubt about that one. Chad Mullins launching a rocket in there, and he has tied this ball game at 9 with a 3-pointer at the 2:40 mark. And a traveling violation whistled on Irvin. He got caught over there, couldn't decide whether to take it or to pass it. Instead, it's Gate City basketball on the side.
And Mullins is hot right now. He has 7 points of 9 for Gate City. Baker with the other 2. He's been playing great defense, and that's what's led so far to his scoring.
Inbounding as Brad Hensley finds a cutting Brian Baker. Baker pulls up just inside the paint, and that one is pretty right in the net. And it's 11-9 lead. Gate City has roared back here in the latter stages of the first quarter. 2:22 left to play in period number 1. 11-9 Gate City on top. And eventually it's Todd Addington bringing it across. Taylor has it wide open in the corners. LaForest gets a head fake. Good defense there by Brent Heron. As we said, he's not 100% on those ankles, but he's still pretty darn good, even at not at 100%. Taylor over there in the corner. Back, he gives it to Irvin. LaForest thought about the 3. Wide open is Addington, taking it to the basket. Instead, dishes back off to Irvin. And the nice jumper off the glass for 2. And we're tied again at 11. Baker triple teamed in the backcourt. Wide open up front is Lark. He'll take it, pull up, and he has it stripped away. Great defense by Warren LaForest. Lark calling for a foul, but no whistle by the refs. Nice quick pass in by Taylor, and the foul called on Brent Heron of Gate City as he fouls Brian Powers, number 24 of Twin Springs. That'll send Powers to the line to shoot 2.
Brent Heron had gone up for the Cobb, and Powers gave him the fake. Coming up late, Brent Heron came down on top of him, and therefore the foul was called.
Again, a capacity crowd on hand tonight to witness this ball game between the intra-county rivals Twin Springs and Gate City. Free throw is too hard off of the back of the iron, so it will be up to this one to try to give Twin Springs the lead. The free throw by Powers is an air ball, so that'll be Gate City basketball, and immediately the chorus of air ball begins from the Gate City side of things. Into the ball game, number 30, Jason Jones, checking in, relieving his backcourt partner, Brian Baker. So Baker takes a seat on the pine, and Jones, who is a 3-point specialist, checks in the ball game. In fact, in Gate City's last game against Richlands, Jones almost single-handedly picked apart the Richlands team with 3-point shooting, as there's a turnover. Twin Springs doing an excellent job, Sean, with the defensive pressure in the backcourt.
That's right. They had Chris Lark totally confused there. He was across the half-court line, and he tried to pass it back to Mullins, who was on the backcourt.
Mullins tried to get it to Jones. It's knocked away. Lark tipping it in right into the hands of Todd Addington, number 20. He's all alone going on the break. Hensley comes up and will foul Addington from behind. The shot does not go, and Hensley charged with the foul. Twin Springs running and gunning with Gate City early. 2 subs again back into the ball game for Twin Springs. Chris Addington, number 22, and returning as well, number 44, Wes Salyer. They will spell number 34, Irvin, and number 50, Taylor. Also into the contest for Twin Springs, Landon Bays, number 42. He will relieve Warren LaForce, number 12. And Shannon Boyd, number 24, checks into the contest along with, let's see, apparently he will be the only substitute for Gate City. Lark
he came in for Mullins.
So Mullins taking a seat, Lark just over at the bench conversing with Coach Blackwell. 2-shot foul for number 20, Todd Addington of Twin Springs, as he converts the first one. That'll give the Titans a 1-point advantage, 12-11, a minute 9 left to play in period number 1. Some sweat being wiped off the floor by the official, and now the second half of the 2 free throws about to get off the hands of the shooter. It's up and it's no good. Rebound swiped around and it's out of bounds to Gate City. Wes Salyer, number 44, trying to save it, but he was unsuccessful, and Brad Hensley will do the inbounding chores.
Gate City so far has had a little bit of trouble on defense because of Twin Springs' size. They really outsized the Devils, but Gate City has a good bench, a lot of good shooters out there. They've got the speed, and that's what they'll try to rely on.
Jones dishes off to Heron on the inside, being pushed. He puts the jumper up, and it's good. Nice job by Brent Heron as he pulls up just inside the lane for 2. We're under a minute left, 38.3 seconds. Steal by Lark. He'll take it all the way and put it in. Good defense by Lark in the backcourt. Gate City has roared out to a 3-point advantage. 15-12, 30 seconds exactly left to play in quarter number 1. Lark couldn't get there that time. Number 22, Chris Addington dribbling around the Devils, but they quickly adjust. Heron guards him in the corner. Now it's Todd Addington. Back to Chris from 3. It's up, and it's good. A 2-pointer.
That's only a 2-pointer
Give
there.
him 2. They say his foot was on the line. Chris Addington cuts the Gate City lead to 1. They'll play for 1 shot. 9 seconds left in the quarter. Nearly stolen away. Lark has it. Double teamed in the corner. Looking for help. Jones now with 3 seconds. He drives. His shot is up. And it's good as he puts the lean on it. And the little extra bit of English by Jason Jones gives Gate City a 3-point advantage as we finish up the first quarter play at the Titans home gym. Gate City owns the lead 17-14.
And Jason Jones cutting to the goal is not something that we see often. He's usually out in the 3-point line shooting them in. We just had a message over the intercom there. But as I was saying, Jason Jones usually out at the 3-point line nailing them in. That time he cut to the goal and put in a nice jump shot, just getting the ball off before he came down to give Gate City a 3-point lead. It would have only been a 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Leading for Gate City is Chad Mullins. He has 7 points. He really came alive out there. He had 7 of 9 at one time for Gate City before he was taken out, and Shannon Boyd came in for him. Behind him is Brian Baker with 4, Jason Jones with 2, and Brent Heron with 2. Warren LaForce has yet to score for the Titans. Todd Addington has 1. Chris Addington with 4, Chad Irving with 2, Wes Salyer with 2, and Jason Taylor hit a 3-pointer to give him 5 points along with his other field goal.
Sean, as you noted earlier on the contest, this is a very quick Gate City team, and I think that what's going to help the Devils later on in the Highlands race this year is that this quickness is going to pay off in some great pressure defense.
That's right. They really have an absence of height out on the court, but they can do a lot with the players that they have. They're all about pretty much the same height. Brian Baker's about 5'10". Most of the other players are around 6 feet, 6'2", and they have the absence of the giants out there like they'll be running up against like when they run into Marion, who has a superb team, but with their quickness, they can stop them.
As you saw Brian Baker dribbling it off his foot for the turnover, and Twin Springs coming the other way. They trail by 3. Mullins with great defense, and he knocks it out of bounds. We saw some great defensive hustle earlier tonight in the JV contest, and it looks as if this ball game is going to be none the different.
A lot of times the JV and the varsity team practice together for Gate City, and it helps out the JV team a lot, especially more than it does the varsity. But if the varsity slows down, that JV team will cut the lead to them and really give them some trouble.
Turnover on the part of the Titans. Gate City basketball as we just start the second quarter, down to about 7:15 left before the halftime break. Taylor putting up a screen for Baker. He gives off to Blackwell. Now Mullins out in front at the three-point stripe, being guarded by LaForce. LaForce, one of the better defenders in the Cumberland district. Mullins from about 16, it's good as he just went straight up over LaForce on that one. LaForce looking to the bench saying, what can I do? 5-point lead, 19-14 for Gate City. Addington coming around. That's Chris Addington dishing off to number 24 as he has had his shot blocked. That was Brian Powers, and here come the Devils. Good dribbling by Baker, but he has it stripped away.
Todd steals it and gives it to David Blackwell underneath. Misses the first one, gets his rebound. Loose ball.
And a foul is going to be whistled on one of the Titans. Perhaps number 50, Jason Taylor, being charged with a personal. Yes, it is. And
that'll be his second personal foul
tonight. Personal on Taylor. Quickly, Coach Lee Clark of Twin Springs bringing in a substitute. I'm sure that will be probably the end of the second quarter for, well, let's see. Instead, it's going to be Salyers checking out. So Salyers takes a leave of absence of the game. They leave Jason Taylor, number 50, in there with 2 personal fouls. If he gets that third foul before halftime, that could put a big dent in Titan game plans. Baker from 3 nails it. Great job by Brian Baker. And another great thing about Gate City, boy, can they hit the 3-pointers.
Baker now advantage with 7 points.
22-14, ball nearly stolen away. Twin Springs having all kinds of problems with the Gate City pressure. Mullins guarding number 12, LaForce. Now the ball is in the hands of 22, Chris Addington. LaForce taking it out front. Baker comes over as Gate City drops into a zone. Baker and Blackwell pulling it out front. Ball tipped inside, but instead it's Powers getting it, looking for help outside. LaForce has it to 3 line. Irvin now has it stripped away. Baker has it. The numbers are with him. He's going to take it all the way. LaForce will be called for the blocking foul.
And that'll be the first personal foul on LaForce.
Shot will not count. They'll say it came before the shot. But again, the great quickness of the Gate City backcourt playing havoc with Twin Springs' game plan. And I have a feeling come the latter stretches of the Highlands District race, many teams up along I-81 are going to feel the same effect. Baker to Mullins. He'll drive with a nice fake. He is a running right-hander, no good. Tipped around, Mullins tries to save it. It's off his hands, out of bounds to Twin Springs with 5:44 left to play. And Brad Hensley checking in, relieving Stephen Taylor. And now Brent Herron will come into the game. And Todd Williams will have a sit on the bench. 5:44 left to play before halftime.
We were a little bit worried about Gate City in the starting quarter. They had a little bit of trouble getting onto the offensive boards and getting a few points on the board.
Addington has to throw it away. Nice save by LaForce as he had to come running cross court just to get a chance to touch it. Nice play by Blackwell as he puts the hand up and intercepts the pass. Here comes Gate City. Blackwell leading the way. Tried to go through his legs and lost the ball. Taylor scoots it around. And finally, here's LaForce wide open. Nice defense there, and Mullins makes the play defensively, distracting LaForce. Gate City's Hensley comes up with it, but simply just a little distraction there by Mullins, and LaForce could not concentrate to make the easy layup.
Mullins is one of the smarter players in the league. He knows a lot of times if you go up and you try to block the shot, you'll get the foul called against you. But if you make a little bit of noise and scare the shooter, you can usually manage to make him miss the shot.
Traveling violation whistled on Gate City's Blackwell. 4:56 left to play, and here come the Titans up on the offensive end of things. LaForce spinning around in trouble. Taylor now has it, and they will give it to the point guard, number 20, Todd Addington. Gate City spreading out a big zone. Got a 2-3 zone out there. Blackwell over in the corner on Addington. LaForce now out front with Baker guarding him. They're trying deny the ball inside to number 24, Brian Powers. Lee Clark, the coach of Twin Springs, not too happy with the physical inside play, and he is fuming right now on the Titan bench.
And the inside players of the Titans are just worn out. Brent Herron really giving them some trouble in there.
Nearly stolen by Mullins. LaForce trying to find some help. Inside to a cutting Addington. His jumper is good. Todd Addington came across as they had a 4-on-5 break as Mullins pulled out for the steal. Addington hits the jumper in the lane, and Twin Springs now trailing by 6, 22-16. Man-to-man defense for the Titans. Hensley out here outside of the three-point stripe. Herron pivoting, nice move. Pump fakes in the lane, leans in, his jumper just short, tipped around, and Taylor has it and is hacked from behind by number 50, Brad Hensley of Gate City. It'll be Titan basketball.
That's Brett Hensley's second personal foul. He usually doesn't have very many fouls. Jason Jones coming into the game right now for David Blackwell.
So Blackwell having a seat on the bench. Jones in there again. It's Jones and Baker in the backcourt. And the forwards for Gate City, Hensley and Mullins, playing the post position is Brent Herron. Stolen away. No, it's picked up. And eventually the Titans work it in the hands of number 24, jumper, no good. There's Hensley. Great defense that time by Brent Herron as he tried to take the charge. Instead, the shooter distracted enough they could not make the shot. Jones driving. Baker finding Mullins. Nice fake. He'll drive the lane himself, and he is
oh,
from
big
behind.
foul. Big
Wow.
foul there. Mullins got it from both sides.
Let's see who they give it to. The referee's discussing who it's on. Can go
Warren
on
LaForce
either
gave
one.
him a big push from the back.
They'll give the foul to number 44, Wes Salyer of Twin Springs. And Coach Lee Clark giving the official a lot of vocabulary out there. This was the same official who called two quick technicals on the JV coach of Twin Springs. So Coach Clark had best be wary of this man in the stripes. Still some discussion going on at the scorer's table or among the referees. Let's see. And some discussion about the possession arrow. I'm not sure if the possession arrow was changed with the last jump ball, and I think that was part of the discussion. I heard the referee talk about the possession arrow, so I think they were correcting the direction of the possession arrow. So it is Chad Mullins at the line to try to pick up a couple of more points for the Blue Devils. His first free throw rolling in good. That gives Gate City a 23-16 advantage. He can put the Blue Devils up by 8 with this one. Shot is up, and it's good.
And Chad is now in double digits. He has 11 points in the first half already.
Twin Springs trying to get over the Gate City press. Salyers has a double team. Quickly finds Addington. LaForce, nice bounce pass as they work it to a wide open Chris Addington, missing the shot. And here comes Gate City. Twin Springs.
And Chad Mullins has really been on the boards tonight, getting some rebounds. Brent went down there. I wonder if he hurt his ankle. He looks all right.
Three-pointer by Baker, no good. It's a struggle out there. Boy, things are getting very physical at the 3:03 mark in the second quarter. 24-16, an 8-point advantage. A far cry from the junior varsity contest when we saw every little thing being called, but now here the teams are very physical. Salyer fouled from behind by Hensley.
I'm not sure if that's going to be against Hensley or Mullins.
And you are right, Sean. It's against Mullins, who got him from behind. Hensley getting him from the front, so they give the foul to Chad Mullins, and going to the free throw line is number 44, Wes Salyer.
And Chris Lord comes in for Mullins, who sits out with 11 points and 2 personal fouls.
Coach Sandy Blackwell playing some safe strategy here, not wanting Mullins to pick up that third personal with the time remaining in the second quarter. Salyer cans the first free throw. That cuts the Gate City advantage to 7, 24-17. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to play before halftime. Second shot is up, and it is good as well. So it's down to again to a 6-point lead for Gate City. It appears that Herron is okay. No limping or signs of the fall he took on the last series that Gate City had. Jones on the outside, nice fake. He'll do another lean in. It's no good, but he does manage to pick up the personal foul.
That'll be against Landon Bays.
Bays, one of the taller Titans, picking up the personal and talking on the sidelines with Coach Lee Clark. If I'm not mistaken, this is Coach Clark's first year at the helm of the Titans. Twin Springs narrowly was defeated at Gate City earlier this year, playing at the middle school gymnasium by a meager 2 points, and I believe a jumper late by Chad Mullins was the deciding factor in that ball game.
That's right. They played a very bad third quarter. They went down the court. They had the defense, but their offense just couldn't sink the shots, and that really hurt them in the third quarter.
Second free throw is good, and Gate City now back out to an 8-point lead. Sub back in for Gate City is Blackwell. Baker having a seat on the bench. Good use of the bench by Coach Sandy Blackwell, getting a lot of the players going 8 deep into his bench. Jones putting pressure on Addington as he brings it up court. LaForce, nice no-look pass inside, but it's stripped away as Salyer couldn't handle it. But Twin Springs coming away lucky. LaForce open from 3. He'll launch the bomb. It's up and short this side of the iron. Lark tried to save it in. LaForce retrieves it, and with 2:20 left in the clock, Todd Addington will set the play up for the Titans. Zone defense for Gate City. Now they drop back into a man-to-man. Blackwell over on this side, guarding Jason Taylor. Wide open on the far side is LaForce. Quickly into number 42, Bays. His layup no good. Rebound comes down to Gate City's Hensley, who was fouled, falling out of bounds by Landon Bays, number 42 of Twin Springs.
And one thing you can almost count on out there is that the Titans are going to throw the ball to Warren LaForce. And lately he has been getting open, especially on that offensive run there. He was moving around on the backcourt and the baseline, getting open in the three-point range, trying to open things up for the Titans. Gate City had a few good chances there, and a little bit of luck too. And now Brad Hensley's at the line with a 1-and-1.
Hensley's first shot at the 1-and-1 is good, so he nails the front end and gives Gate City a 27-18 lead. 2:03 left to play before the halftime break. Gate City going with many different lineups tonight. As I was saying earlier, Coach Blackwell using his bench quite well. This is just one of the many. Lark in there playing the guard position along with Jones. The three-pointer is good. Second three-pointer of the night by Jason Taylor, the big man. Also a long bomb threat for the Titans, and he has cut the Gate City advantage to 6 points, 27-21. A minute 44 screen set up by Hensley. The shot no good by Jones, and the Titans with a chance to cut it to 4 and possibly even 3. LaForce weaving his way through the defense to Todd Addington. He's caught up. LaForce on the far side. Nice pass into Bays. His jumper over Hensley, no good. There's Todd Williams. Good clear out as he kept Salyer and Bays off the board. Lark thought about pulling up, looking for help out to Jones. Needs somebody on the right wing. Instead, over there on the left wing to Lark. Jones to Blackwell. He drives. His jumper from 16 is good. Pretty jumper there by David Blackwell, and he gives Gate City an 8-point advantage, 29-21. 1:04 left to play before the half. Bays, the big man, open. Instead, back to Taylor. Gate City must watch him. Blackwell guarding Jason Taylor. They leave the back door open. Taylor comes around this side, finding LaForce in the corner, looking for help. He's guarded by Lark. Into Bays, who takes a walk in there, but nothing called. Finally there to sneak in and put the rebound in the basket is number 44, Wes Salyer. Blackwell has it down under a minute, 37 seconds left. Clock ticking down, and I think Coach Blackwell calling for the guys to spread it out. As he motions his arms to spread the floor out. They want the last shot in the half. 29-23 lead.
They really want Jason Jones to get that three-pointer off. Last time he tried to shoot it, somebody got a piece of it, and he couldn't get it up. Right now, Gate City just trying to get somebody open on the outside, see if they can get something going out there.
Blackwell relieves Hensley, who was caught in the corner. They give it to Lark, who takes the shot with 8 seconds left. It's long. There is the rebound tipped away by Hensley, and Twin Springs has a final chance with 2 seconds left. Todd Addington for about 24. It's no good, and that will do it for the first half of basketball action here at the Twin Springs Titan Gymnasium. The Titans trail Gate City by a score of 29-23 at the half. We'll go over the halftime stats here real quick, Sean.
All right, that last shot from Chris looked more like an alley-oop to Brad Hensley. He just couldn't get his hands on it. Brad usually scoring around 8 points per game. So far only has 1 point coming from the foul line. Brent Heron has 2. He's seen about a quarter's worth of action tonight. Jason Jones with 4, Chad Mullins leading with 11, Chris Lark with 2, David Blackwell with 2, and Brian Baker right behind Chad with 7. For the Titans, Jason Taylor has hit 2 3-pointers and has 8 points. Wes Salyer has 6, Chad Irving with 2, Chris Addington with 4, Todd Addington with 3, 1 point coming from the foul line, and that sums up the scores for both teams.
So at the halftime break, it's a 29-23 lead for Gate City. We'll pause for intermission and be back with the second half of basketball action. Okay, we're back for second half action here at the Twin Springs Titan home court. Gate City owners of a 6-point lead at halftime. 29-23 the advantage for the Blue Devils. Again, the big scoring stars in the first half for both teams. Sean, who are the leading scorers for each team?
For Gate City, Chad Mullins knocked in 11 points with Brian Baker right behind him with 7. And for the Titans, Jason Taylor had 8. 2 of them, 2 of the shots were 3-pointers. They need to shut him down. He's a big man, but he's out there shooting the 3-pointers and hitting them.
Twin Springs will bring in the basketball to start off the final 2 quarters of play. Again, Gate City owners of a 6-point lead. The Titans bring it into number 20, Todd Addington. Immediately they start off facing a Gate City zone. They work it into Salyer. Give and go. Back out to Addington for three. It's good. Todd Addington cuts the Gate City lead in half. 29-26 on that three-pointer as the Titans come out firing from the outside. Blackwell has it. Now to Baker. Twin Springs remains in a man-to-man defense. Baker looking for help. He gets Blackwell. They're trying to deny the ball underneath to Hensley and Williams, the two Gate City big men. Hensley driving around and is fouled. A blocking foul will be charged to number 50, Jason Taylor of Twin Springs.
And that's his third personal foul. This is a critical time for Gate City because they come out onto the court after having a little bit of a break, and they're a little bit dry. They need to get in there and score right away, or they could get in some trouble.
Nice bounce pass by Baker, finding Hensley, who lays it up and in. 2 points for the Gate City team, 29-26, or check it, 31-26. Back down the other way, number 22, that is Chris Addington, nearly traveling with the ball. They work it finally to Todd Addington. Warren LaForce open from three over the flying Mullins. No call as Mullins hit LaForce after the shot. Finally, a foul whistled on the inside, and I believe Brad Hensley charged with fouling number 22, Chris Addington, from behind.
That goes against Todd Williams. Todd Williams figured, well, we're getting away with all this. I'll just take the ball right away from him. But Todd got the ball along with his head, so got the personal foul called against him. That's his first.
So as Sean and I have noted, a stark contrast from the junior varsity contest we saw earlier tonight, in which the officials really held the game in check. This time in the varsity contest, they're letting the players get out there and be very physical, and it's resulted in quite a bit of roughness under the basket, but still Gate City doing its job to manage and stay under the basket despite the lack of size to the Twin Spring Titans.
It looked like Gate City got a little bit of a favor there. I think Chad Mullins had his hand on the ball as it went out of bounds, but Gate City ends up with the ball.
Mullins has it on the right wing on the far side. Hensley now trying to find someone. Mullins with a head fake, driving. Jumper, follow the fade away from 17 is good for Chad Mullins. Two more, 33-26, 7-point advantage, 6:47 left in the third. Addington back to LaForce. Twin Springs trying to spread the Gate City defense out and find one of the guards cutting in. Taylor back to Todd Addington and the Chris Addington. LaForce is open from three. He'll take the long range jumper. It's good. Home run. Warren LaForce. That makes it a 3-point ball, or a 4-point ball game. 33-29. Mullins has it and has a block from behind. Outstanding defense by, I believe, was that Warren LaForce?
I believe that was number 20, Todd Addington. Chad thought he'd get the foul there, and he came down with it, and instead he was called with walking.
Great defense by Addington that time, swatting the ball from behind. Twin Spring basketball, they can cut it to a few points here. Long pass up court, trying to find Addington just a bit too long. Sean, this is something we saw in the JV contest. Gate City with the full court pressure, causing Twin Springs to throw some long passes in the JV contest. Same thing happening here.
That's right, and as long as Gate City can supply some pressure to the Titans and score a few points, they'll be doing all right.
Todd Williams has it in the corner. It's tipped away, and the basketball will be retrieved by Warren LaForce. He's got some numbers with him. Tried to pass it inside to number 44, Salyer. Broken up nicely that time by number 14, David Blackwell.
And Gate City's having a little bit of trouble with their offensive passing right now. A few of them being picked off. That's one of the problems they had. Third quarter is real critical for Gate City.
And a foul
Lark there called with the push against LaForce.
Lark trying to work his way through a screen set by LaForce. So Gate City senior Lark will pick up the personal. I believe that to be only the second team foul on Gate City here in the second half. Not quite sure. LaForce looking in the corner instead, has to dump it off to Addington up top. They work it to Taylor, trying to find him in the corner as he's got the elbow swinging out there, giving him out freely. Lark guarding Addington. That's Todd Addington with the ball. Now it's LaForce back to Todd Addington, and Twin Springs will restart that defense. Gate City in what appears to be a zone. Williams coming over to meet Taylor, but it doesn't matter as Jason Taylor knocks down the short jumper from 6 feet. 5:30 left to play in the third quarter, and it's down to a 2-point lead for Gate City. Blackwell pushing off over to Lark. Thought about the three. Instead, back to Blackwell in the corner, being fronted by Chris Addington. Mullensow has it. Good defense by LaForce. Cross-court pass to Blackwell. They're trying to find somebody to work across the middle, but with this matchup defense, not a whole lot of action going on. Lark had it open there for a moment, knocks it away and manages to come up with it. Mullins will drive the baseline. Fadeaway jumper, he's good. in the same position he nailed a jumper just moments ago from 17 feet along the far baseline. He's given Gate City a 4-point lead, and that
Good
time
play by Mullins.
he knocks the ball away, bats it away, and the foul called on number 44, Wes Salyer, as he came over the back of Mullins trying to collect the basketball on the turnover.
Mullins has 15 points on the night already. So far this season, he hasn't gone out and tried to score a lot. Tonight, he's just hitting them all.
Again, a great crowd on hand for tonight's contest. Nearly capacity filled Twin Springs Titan Gymnasium. The give and go not good, and almost a favor for Gate City, but Williams put his hand on it, and it goes out of bounds. Tough luck for Gate City. Blackwell was cutting across the lane, and they tried to work it in for him, but the pass just a tad late. Taylor has it in the backcourt, trying to work around the Gate City defense. Now it's Addington dishing off to LaForce. He's open, but instead chooses to work it to Taylor up at the top of the key. They get it to Addington, cutting across the lane. And Twin Springs seems to be handling the Gate City zone pressure as Addington's wide open. That's Todd Addington bearing the jumper from about 15. Gate and Twin Springs handling the Gate City defense rather well.
Gate City having a little bit of trouble when they fell into that zone there. And David Blackwell losing control of the ball. I don't think that should have been a backcourt. That was knocked away from him, and he did not touch it again.
So it is Titan basketball along the far sideline. 4:13 left to play in the third quarter. And Twin Springs could possibly take the lead on this play. They're down by 2, and again they continue to work it outside. Taylor from 3. It's a short rebound down to Mullins. He's double teamed, looking for help. We're going to have a couple of substitutions, or 2 substitutions for Gate City at the next horn. Mullins off the hands of
Beautiful
Hensley.
pass, though.
He
Brad
spotted
Hensley
Hensley open underneath. As you said, we got a substitutions now for Gate City. Brian Baker in replacing Lark, and we have Brent Herron coming into the contest replacing Todd Williams.
Chad Mullins has been the defensive force out there, getting a lot of rebounds. Everyone's been playing some great defense, but Chad's gotten a lot of rebounds out there.
Taylor nearly having it stolen away by Mullins in a traveling violation. That time to be called on Todd Addington, dragging the pivot foot with him at the 3:46 mark left in the third quarter. It's a 35-33 lead for Gate City, but they're clinging to that 2-point advantage. They had a 6-point lead at halftime. Lob pass into Baker, driving around several defenders from the foul line. He pulls up. It's too hard. Rebound down to Chris Addington of Twin Springs, and now Todd Addington will bring it up for the Titans. LaForce has it. Back to Todd Addington, looking for help. Gate City remaining in that zone defense. Twin Springs has done a good job of figuring it out. Nice pass inside, but just too hot to handle for number 44, Wes Salyer.
Good defense from Brian Baker, too. He got his hands on that ball and deflected that pass before it was even thrown.
Jason Jones in the ball game, replacing David Blackwell. So in the backcourt now for Gate City, it's number 12, Brian Baker, who works across the screen from Herron. The three-pointer is good for Brian Baker as he pulls up. Nice screen there by Brent Herron. And timeout called as a play pops off of one of the volleyball mounts on the court. So they'll take time for that. It's back to a 5-point advantage for Gate City.
And Gate City now has 2 players in double digits. Brian Baker with 10 as he's hit 2 3-pointers, and Chad Mullins with 15.
Here comes Todd Addington down into the corner. They tried to lob it into number 44, Salyer. Gate City with a 3-on-2 break led by Mullins. Pass a little too long for Baker, trying to find help. Stripped away from Mullins. Back out to Jones. The 3-point man is open, and it's good. Give him 3. Jason Jones nails his first 3-pointer of the night on his first try. And the Titans facing some stiff defense in the backcourt. Double teamed is Taylor. Now Addington coming up. Twin Springs falling behind by 8. Lob inside to Salyers, who's open. He misses the easy layup. Good job of defense there by Jones, but Salyer nails the fadeaway from 6. 41-35, now the lead for the Gate City Devils. Inside to Herron, has it knocked away. Nice defense by LaForce. He brings it up. Numbers are not with him, but he's going to take it all the way. The wild shot is no good, and a foul from Wes Salyer as he came charging over the back.
That's going to be his 4th, too.
Over the back of Brent Herron, and it'll be the 4th on Wes Salyer, as Sean said, who was immediately replaced by number 24, Brian Powers. Salyer going down to the bench of Lee Clark.
As a lack of some of the calls out on the court, things have really gotten rough out there, and Salyer just came in and tried to take the ball away. And that time the foul was called. You couldn't overlook that one. Baker looking inside to Jones.
Jones now on the wing. Into Herron. Herron back out to Baker. Open from 3 from 21 feet off the glass. It's good for Brian Baker as he kisses the glass for 3 points, 44-35, a 9-point lead for Gage City. At the 2-minute mark left to play in the third quarter. Twin Springs breaks the Gage City press in the hands of Taylor. Now over to Todd Addington. Double team, dishes off to LaForce. Nice fake from 16. His jumper is off the glass as well, so the players using the backboard to their advantage. And they exchange baskets. Gage City comes out for the better of it with a three-pointer. 44-37, 1:45 left to play. Baker dribbling around now to Jones. Man-to-man defense by Twin Springs. Hensley in the corner, being fronted by Taylor. Bounce pass to Baker as he is tripped up, stolen away by Chris Addington. He's going to be all alone going to the basket, and he converts the easy breakaway layup. Looked like Baker might have got a Charlie horse there.
Actually, it looked like he got a little bit of a trip there from Todd Addington. The referees didn't see it.
44-39, Gage City back down to a 5-point lead. Nice pass to Mullins as he cut across the lane. Shot is no good. It looked like he got mugged again. Referees really letting this game get physical underneath. A minute left to play in the third quarter. Over to LaForce in the corner. To Taylor out front. Wide open is Chris Addington from 3. No good. Wild shot. Mullins had it momentarily, but it was stripped away by LaForce. And Chad Mullins charged with the foul as he tried to pick the pocket of the Titans' number 12.
And after what LaForce did to Mullins, it's a little bit conspicuous that they would give Mullins that foul there. Mullins came down with the rebound, turned around, and LaForce gave him a good bump there, took the ball away from him.
Under a minute to play, 47.5 seconds left in the third quarter. Stolen away by Mullins. It's a 3-on-1 break. Mullins all the way. Nice pass off to Baker. Great job by the Gage City duo of Mullins and Baker. The two seniors combined to give Gage City an 8-point lead, or check that, a 7-point lead. 46-39, down to 30 seconds. Twin Springs, number 34, over the head-court stripe, and a blocking foul called on Gage City's number 50, Brad Hensley.
Brad Hensley has 3 personal fouls right now. As you were saying, Brian Baker and Chad Mullins make a great team, and they do. Each of them have 15 points apiece, giving Gage City 30 points.
Number 50, Jason Taylor, will have a seat on the bench of Coach Lee Clark. He is replaced by number 42, Landon Bays. Bays checks in with Gage City playing a 3-2 defense. And they'll make the Titans try to work it on the outside. LaForce over to Todd Addington, driving. His jumper from 14 pulls up is good. 46 now to 41. Gage City clinging to that 5-point advantage. Clock down to 10. The clock ticking away. Baker calls out the drive. Calls it the play. He drives in the lane, blocked by Bays. Hensley's jumper with 2 seconds off the baseline, no good. Hail Mary shot by number 20, Todd Addington, no good. And at the buzzer, we finish up 3 complete quarters of action at the Twin Springs Titan home gymnasium. The score after 3 quarters, 46-41. Gage City over top of Twin Springs.
And that last shot from Baker looked like it was knocked away. It looked like they did call a foul there. There was no foul, however. And as we have said, there have been a lack of calls out on the court, and it's gotten really rough out there. Brian Baker and Chad Mullins, as I have said, have 15 points apiece. David Blackwell with 2, Chris Clark with 2. Jason Jones has 7. At any moment, he could break the double-digit mark. Brent Heron has 2, and Brad Hensley only with 3 tonight. The person they need to stop, scoring anyway, is number 20 for the Titans. Todd Addington has 12 points, and he's just been able to keep putting them in there, even with 3 people against him. Warren LaForce has been doing a lot out on the court, but he's only got 5 points to show for it. Jason Taylor has 10 also, and Wes Salyer with 8.
Teams now retaking the floor. Again, the score after 3 periods of play, 46-41. The fans getting into it. Twin Springs, the homestanding team this time, and just as we saw when the two teams met back in Gage City, a very tight ball game down to the stretch. Mullins faking the 3, will drive from about 17. He cans the jumper. Chad Mullins, one of the best pull-up jump shooters in the league, as Twin Springs working it up. Long pass, LaForce nicely saving it in to the hands of Powers. Powers has checked into the ball game, number 24, along with number 34, Chad Irvin. Taylor is out for Twin Springs. LaForce back out to Todd Addington. Addington looking for help, and we're going to have a foul on the inside. It'll be against...
That may go against Brent Heron.
You called it right, Sean. It's Brent Heron picking up the personal foul, and Coach Sandy Blackwell pleading for some sort of explanation on the sideline. 1-1 situation now, so Gate City in the penalty. And from here on out, it should be a 1-1 situation for Twin Springs.
As we've said, there is a lot of pushing going on underneath the goal, and that's exactly what that was. Wes Salyer and Brent Heron started to get into it underneath the goal. We saw Brent fly one way and Wes fly the other. Foul was called against Brent.
Free throw is off the front of the rim, and here comes Baker down. Numbers are not with him, but he will pull up for the jumper. It is up and good. Brian Baker, another good pull-up jump shooter, as he gives Gate City a 9-point advantage, 50-41. Salyer pivoting around, looking for help, double teamed by Mullins and Baker. Finally, they split the seam up to number 24. Good defense there by Heron as he blocked the pass of number 24, Powers. And here come the Devils.
And right now, Chad Mullins and Brian Baker each have 17 points as they're going on a scoring frenzy out there.
In the corner to Heron. Now to Jones. They set the screen. Nice job. In and out is the three-point try by Jason Jones. 1 for 2 from three-point land tonight. And now Todd Addington leading up the Twin Springs Titans. Number 20 pulls up from about 16 and nails the jumper. That cuts the advantage back down to 7, 50-43 for Gate City. Under 7 minutes to play, 6:30 to be exact. Hensley has it near the top of the circle. Now back to Baker along the right wing. In the corner to Mullins. He'll drive the baseline. Back out to Baker. To Jones. He's open from 3 at the top of the circle. It's up short again. And the rebound down to Salyer. Triple teamed in the backcourt. And a quick whistle. Foul called on number 30, Jason Jones, who will sit down, being replaced by David Blackwell.
And Jason Jones just a little bit off out there. That was his first personal foul, but usually they count on him to sink the three-pointers. Last week against Richlands, he put quite a few in. And tonight he's having a little bit of trouble, just a little bit off. We'll probably see him a little bit later on in the game, in the final minutes.
Jason Taylor has replaced number 34, Chad Irvin. So Taylor back in there, the big gun for the Titans, has returned to the lineup. Free throw is good, as that was number 44, Wes Salyer, banging in the front end of the 1-and-1. Heron takes a seat on the Gate City bench as he is replaced by Williams. Lark also coming into the ball game, replacing number 12, Brian Baker. It's a 50-44 advantage for Gate City. And Salyer at the line right now for the second in of the 1-and-1, trying to cut the lead down to 5. It's up and it is good. Now a 5-point lead for Gate City. 6:15 left in the ball game. Blackwell, quick pass to Mullins up on the sideline. Back to Blackwell. Good pressure here by Twin Springs. Lark looking to get it across. Blackwell now crossing the time stripe. Hensley pivoting as Twin Springs. They've dropped back to a zone now. They play man to the man most of the game, and now at the 6-minute mark, they drop back to a zone defense. Timeout called by Chris Lark, as Gate City needs to draw up some a game plan here to counter this defensive coaching move by Lee Clark of switching from a man-to-man to a zone defense.
And Gate City on that press, to break the press defense that the Titans have, they're inviting the trap. Both Mullins and Lark let themselves get trapped before passing the ball off to make sure that the other man would be open.
As you get a look at the varsity cheerleaders of Gate City out there performing a great cheer for the crowd. Great job by the cheerleaders. A good crowd on hand tonight. As I said before, it's a rainy, cold night in December. The last game to be played for both of these teams in 1990, I would assume. And good crowd on hand for this matchup between two of the county rivals, Twin Springs and Gate City matching up. The other county school, Rye Cove, is a Cumberland District foe of Twin Springs, so they see plenty of action during the year. So a good county crowd on hand tonight for this matchup between the Titans of Twin Springs and the Blue Devils of Gate City.
And again, I'll say Gate City needs to stop Todd Addington on offense. He's got 14 points out there. Right now, Davey Blackwell with the ball.
In the corner to Williams. Now Mullins has it. Twin Springs drops back to a man-to-man. Mullins, jumper in and out, rolls around. Down with the rebound is number 24, Brian Powers. Addington now pushing it up. So just as Gate City went into the timeout to adjust for the defense, Twin Springs came out and put a man-to-man defense on him. As that time you saw Todd Addington nailing the jumper from about 14. 50-47, Twin Springs has clawed back to within 3. Blackwell over to Mullins, double team. Up to Hensley. He's caught, double team, stripped away. Lark saving it for Gate City.